is I really don't even know what their capabilities are if they can go to college. But again, they want to give it from grades 3 to 11 twice a year. Here's the question: are your kids being over-tested? Sounds to me like they are. 800-283-101.5. Fast traffic is on.
All right, we had a stall on the southbound Parkway down by 149 in Bloomfield. Looks like that has now been cleared out of the way, so that is doing much better. Northbound side, we've got construction scheduled till 2:30 from exit 91 on up toward 98 on the Parkway and Wall. 2 right lanes taken away. Not seeing too much of a delay with that. A couple of other projects, 1 and 9 South in Newark around McClellan Street, right lane closed. As far as construction goes, that's really just about it. Very cold out there, so we're going to see limited road work. George Washington Bridge, upper level reopened, leaving New Jersey. Oversizes have passed across. Lincoln and Holland all looking pretty good. And at least for the moment, Bayonne Bridge is scheduled to be closed at 9. This report sponsored by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Traffic every 15 minutes. Next report, 8:48. I'm Angie Torres on New Jersey 101.5.
New Jersey 101.5. Instant weather. A couple of clouds. Going to be very cold. Lows will be in the teens. Wind chills in the single digits. We'll see some snow showers, and that'll be tomorrow, and then windy and slightly warmer with highs in the mid-30s. Very cold in the morning on Saturday, then cold and sunny in the afternoon in the mid-20s, and then some clouds on Sunday. We will see a slight warm-up and highs in the mid-30s. Raritan at 12, Brick at 13, and Burlington now at 14. Weather every 10 minutes around New Jersey 101.5. Meteorologist Dan Zaro's 5-day forecast anytime at NJ1015.com.
The Late Show with Jersey guy Ray Rossi.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
On New Jersey 101.5 and NJ1015.com.
All right, so I have the acronym right here. PARCC. Now, that's the name of the test. It's PARCC. And what it does is it tries to assess the students' readiness for college and careers. But what they want to do is give it twice a year from ages 3 to, I'm sorry, not ages, but grades 3 to 11. Now, are your kids being tested to death? Do you get the sense that all schools, it seems, districts, all they want to do is use these standardized tests, and teachers, it seems, have no choice but to teach to the test, so that I would imagine the individual districts will be able to qualify for more money or whatever, however all of that works. All right? Now, some might think that the answer is yes, as far as the PARCC test being a complete waste of time, stating that it is the best way, they say, to gauge a student's educational progress and assess their future needs. Besides that, is the concern that the company giving the test has been accused of bad business practices and that students taking the test stress out. Now, let me just stop right there. Students stress out. You may be saying to yourself, I had to take Regents, I had to take SATs, maybe I had taken the SATs twice, whatever it was. I was stressed out. So what the hell is the big deal with kids getting stressed out over taking tests? There really shouldn't be anything that they would be getting stressed out over other than the fact that they are taking too many tests and that teachers are shoving this test-taking mode down their throats as opposed to teaching them whatever is in their lesson plans. So we can put all that aside, and now we can teach to the test. Is that right? No, it's not right. And by the way, you see, this is the other thing, too. And, you know, when you complain about property taxes and when you complain about where your money's going toward education and all of this, you got to stop and say to yourself, do we necessarily need all of this? Because guess what? It's coming out of my pocket. Really? That's where it's coming out of. But anyway, okay, so now students taking the test stress out because of faulty equipment. I guess maybe these laptops that they give them or these PCs or whatever it is, they go down. You could add to all of that the fact that the company is a for-profit company, meaning someone is paying them to administer the test. And again, I go back to you and I. So we have this one young man who is brilliant and he has done his homework, and he testified before the Department of Education in Trenton yesterday, I believe it was. His name is Jacob Hartman. He's a freshman over at Toms River High School South. He's an honor student, and he openly questioned the wisdom of giving the test in the first place. Now, when would you think that someone as young as a freshman in high school would actually have the fortitude to be able to go up before a group of bureaucrats and actually take them on and say, are you kidding? You really want to give us another test? And this is a test that you're going to be giving over a number of, let's say, 8 years? You got to be out of your mind. How can you test kids over that long a period of time? And by the way, there are other tests that have to be taken. Are there not? So, do you feel as though your kids are being given too many tests? Or do you see this as being beneficial? Because it is the best way, as I said before, to gauge a student's educational progress. So that we know what they want to do. In third grade, you don't know what the hell you want to do. In fifth grade, you don't know what you want to do. In third grade, you know what I know? What I thought I wanted to do? I thought I wanted to be a bus driver. I swear. I was going to drive the B-36 bus to CK. That's what I thought I was going to do in third grade. You know? Maybe they would have found out. You know, let's say maybe if I had taken one of these tests then. Yeah, you know what? Erasmo over there, all he's going to be able to do is drive a bus. There might be some people on the other side of the radio that are saying that's all the hell he can do. But that's besides the point. So now getting back to Mr. Hartman, he said that the test, as I said before, would be unfair to students since they'd be hyper-focused, et cetera, on taking the test, and that the teachers would be teaching to the test instead of their much-needed lesson plans. And he's right about that. They would only be in fact, yeah, when we spoke to the teacher a little bit earlier, that was more or less what he was saying. And it's ridiculous. He stated, according to the equipment, he said, they'll be working on something, the computer will shut off, stop working, and then they'll have to redo everything. And it didn't stop there. Pointed out that the company administering PARCC, Pearson PLC, under investigation by the FBI for corrupt hierarchy, inside trading with Apple and the Los Angeles School District, and wrongful termination of employees. So you got some fugazi practices going on there. Pearson is also on the verge of bankruptcy. They've had a 53% drop in their stock and their operating profit down 45% for the first 2 quarters of 2014. So now here you have a company that's going to be administering a test that you have to wonder what the integrity of the company is in the first place. Don't really sound to me like this is a company that you would want to do business with. Doesn't sound to me like this is a company that we as a state would want to do business with. And it doesn't sound to me like this is a company that you as a taxpayer, and certainly a taxpayer that's being fleeced with your property taxes, would want to do business with. He added that the Pearson Foundation, which by the way is now closed, was forced to pay more than $7 million in fines for unlawfully generating business. So you got to wonder, who all did they approach that thought that this was such a great idea that this test should be implemented? Pat is in Bayville, and Pat, you're on New Jersey 101.5. Hello, Pat.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say that I think that the parents stress the kids out just as much as the teachers do.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I always said to my kids, this is not a test. It's not a test of how you're doing. It's a test of how the school's doing. So just do your best and don't stress out about it. They send notes home, like put your kids to bed early, give them a different breakfast, and everything like that.
Yeah, some of that definitely I think is a little ridiculous. I mean, as far as starting the school day later, yeah, just tell your kids to go to bed earlier, and that should take care of that. But if there's one issue that I have, well, a couple of issues that I have with this, Pat, and thanks for the call to New Jersey 101.5, would be number one, the state of the company, but also the fact that they would be requiring teachers to teach to the test as opposed to teaching the things that they should be teaching. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources and all of that.
I'm Jim Gerhardt. Just when we thought the commotion over Bridgegate was about over, the U.S. Attorney is expanding the investigation to another alleged power abuse, this one in Jersey City. Governor says none of it is true. It's over. Well, it's said that things ain't over till the fat lady sings, but does it end when the fat man sings? More tomorrow morning on New Jersey 101.5.
Hi, it's Brad Benson from Brad Benson Hyundai in South Brunswick, New Jersey, and I've seen some ugly things in a football stadium. I've seen guys grab things in a pile-up that should never be grabbed. I've seen people throw batteries at Santa Claus. I've even seen Bill Parcells in the shower. But I've never seen anything as ugly as Chris Christie man-hugging Jerry Jones last week in Dallas. Ordinarily, Giants and Eagle fans can't even agree on what to call a sandwich, but I'm sure we can all agree on this. That's an image we never want to see again. So while the Giants and Eagles try to find their way back to the playoffs, we're doing our part by having a sale. Buy any new Hyundai in stock, like the Hyundai Sonata, and we'll give you a check for up to $5,000 on the spot. If that doesn't help get the image out of your head, nothing will. Only at Brad Benson Hyundai on Route 1 in South Brunswick, New Jersey, or at BradBensonHyundai.com.
All new Hyundais come with the Hyundai Assurance Plan and a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. America's best warranty.
Hi, this is Eric Scott. Thanks for listening to NJ1015.com.
Hey, it's your money. The satellite service Dish is launching Sling TV for $20 a month.
You can think of it as kind of a skinny pay TV package.
Media analyst Paul Sweeney at Bloomberg Intelligence.
It's going to be online, so a consumer will not have to subscribe to a pay TV service such as a cable company or satellite company.
Sling TV will come with ESPN and TNT, but not local channels.
I think Dish is trying to target those customers who don't pay for a pay TV service. They tend to be younger customers.
Other distributors could follow Dish. Richard Davies, ABC News.
Well, here we are. Number 12. This is the unit for rent. After you.
Oh, thanks.
It's an upper unit, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, with wall-to-wall carpeting and vinyl flooring in the kitchen.
Are there any other amenities?
As you can see, there's a refrigerator, gas stove, and view of the playground below. What you might not know is that there are also small openings in the light and plumbing fixtures and gaps under the doors and in the floorboards that allow cigarette smoke from the neighboring unit to flow into the apartment on a daily basis. This smoke is now classified as a deadly toxin in the same category as asbestos and cyanide.
Wow, is there anything else I should know?
Just that smoke causes things like bronchitis, ear infections, cancer, and heart disease for you and your family. So, would you like to see the coin-operated laundry facility in the basement?
If a neighbor in your apartment building is exhaling cigarette smoke, there's a good chance you're inhaling cigarette smoke too. Undo the danger. This message sponsored by the Coalition for Healthy New Jersey and paid for by the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the New Jersey Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Your Screen Crush movie news happens now.
John Travolta is coming back to TV. He'll play O.J. Simpson's defense attorney, Robert Shapiro, in American Crime Story. David Schwimmer is playing Kim Kardashian's dad, defense lawyer Robert Kardashian. Cuba Gooding Jr. is taking on O.J., and Sarah Paulson will play prosecutor Marsha Clark. This is John's first TV gig since Welcome Back, Kotter. American Crime Story will start shooting soon, but no premiere date has been set. Details now at ScreenCrush.com. I'm Bethany.
He stayed focused. He stayed committed. He took chances. He lived daringly. And while he died at a young age, he lived a long life in terms of service and witness. He piled into those 39 years, 100 years or more of service and loving and caring.
He is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. He inspired us in words.
Everybody can be great.
But he led us in deeds.
Because everybody can serve.
To honor him, let's do the same. Go to MLKday.gov and find out how to volunteer on Martin Luther King Day and beyond. That's MLKday.gov. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Is who I am, sitting in for Steve Trevelise this week. It's 8:49. That means fast traffic is on.
We're doing pretty well out there overall on the Garden State Parkway. Despite some northbound construction, we got a couple of right lanes knocked out. Exit 91 and up toward 98 in Wall, New Jersey Turnpike, not showing any road work or delays there. And it looks as though we do have some construction in Newark South on 1 and 9 right in the area of McClellan Street. The right lane taken away there. Also watch out for some road work on Black Horse Pike. This will be both ways getting into the area of Cypress Lane and Camden. 1 to 2 lanes closed. That's about it as far as the road work goes. And across the Hudson, we're still looking pretty good. The Bayonne Bridge, that'll be shut down starting at 9 o'clock. Traffic every 15 minutes. Next report, 9:03. I'm Andrew Torres on New Jersey 101.5.
New Jersey 101.5 instant weather for the overnight. Hold the phone. There we go. Couple of clouds, very cold. Those will be in the teens. Wind chills in the single digits. Morning snow showers. Then it'll be windy, slightly warmer. Highs in the mid-30s. Very cold morning on Saturday. Cold and sunny for the afternoon. Highs in the mid-20s. Some clouds, slight warm up on Sunday, rather. Highs in the mid-30s. Where'll we be at? Summit at 14, Lakewood 14, Ewing now 13. Oh, baby. Bonus. Weather every 10 minutes here on New Jersey 101.5. Get meteorologist Dan Zaro's 5-day forecast anytime at NJ1015.com.
New Jersey 101.5.
And seeing as how it is Thursday, coming up at the 10 o'clock hour, Rossi Posse iPod Shuffle. 4,000 songs in the iPod. I put it in shuffle, and I'll give you 3 chances. All you need to do is guess either the title or the artist of any of the tunes that come up. And by the way, there's a variety of tunes in there. We got standards, we got oldies, we got a little disco, we got some classic rock. What else? A lot of 80s. Seeing as how, like, I'm the big macha of the 80s on Saturday night, so we'll do that coming up at 10 o'clock. Hold on, that thing ended abruptly. Here on New Jersey 101.5, we've got some valuable prizes for you as well. All right, so we're talking about the PARCC test, and I'm saying it is a complete waste of time. Again, this is a test that's being given to students in grades 3 to 11 twice a year to try and assess their readiness for college and careers. In grade 3, do you know what the hell you want to do? I guess you don't. But anyway, but they're going to give it to you anyway. And I was talking about a young man by the name of Jacob Hartman. He's a freshman over at Toms River High School South. He's an honor student, and he went before the Department of Education and openly questioned the wisdom of giving the test in the first place. And it just so happens that young Jacob is on the line right now. Jacob, welcome to New Jersey 101.5. Hello.
Hello there.
So you went before the Department of Education and you told them this is going to be a complete waste of time. Were they not aware of some of the problems that the company has had in the past?
Yes, that's correct. They were very surprised that there was such a large turnout. And the one lady in our room, the board member, did confirm that she did learn a lot of answers to some of her questions. So I'm not so sure that they were aware of what was actually happening.
Now, who were you sitting, or rather, who were you testifying before? When you say that you were over at the Board of Education, were these assembly people? Were they members of the Education Committee? Were they senators? I mean, who were they?
The people against the PARCC, most of them were from the NJEA. They were concerned parents, students, educators in general.
Mm-hmm. And they were saying what? I mean, were they agreeing with you, or were they for PARCC, or what?
Yes, there was a large turnout against the PARCC. Most of them agreed with what I said. Also made some wonderful points, and it was a really nice event.
Let me ask you this. How did you find out about the financial situation of the company?
Luckily, my father has his way with research, and we sat down one night and we went over everything and wrote it down and put it in the speech.
Now, how did you find out about PARCC in the first place?
I was in the pilot test in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And, it was a very long struggle for my parents, the teachers, and my peers, too.
Now, and is that what led you to believe that the test would be unfair to students? Because you make that assessment, and I'm wondering what all it was that allowed you to make that assessment in the first place. What did you base that assessment on?
I saw kids getting extremely angry and frustrated at not only the technology but the teachers, because everything wasn't working right. They would have to, like I said, redo everything. And we're doing practice now, and the same thing is happening. So nothing changed from last year.
Was there a trial test given, or was it just in general, whenever they take standardized tests, you see that they get nervous?
Well, with the NJ asked, kids did get nervous, and depending on the teacher, you know, if they made it too dramatic, kids would get a bit freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my teachers this year, they're not as worried about the PARCC, or at least they don't seem to be. But you can definitely see their frustration when the technology, goes down.
Well, from what we understood, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but apparently this isn't going to be taking effect until 2019. I mean, that's the understanding that I was given. Are you under that same impression or no?
From what I heard is we're going to be taking it this year, and it's a graduation requirement for the classes of 2016 to 18.
How many, let me ask you this, but how many other tests are you going to have to take besides this?
8 tests?
8?
Do you mean like all?
No. Yeah, in other words, there are other standardized tests I would imagine that you're going to have to take. Or is this going to take the place of all of those?
Well, the PARCC took the place of the NJ Ask and the HESPA, which is for high schoolers.
Okay, right. Yeah, we had learned about that a little bit earlier.
Yes. So the PARCC is now like the one big test.
Okay, and you fail. Do you get a chance to retake it? What happens?
The state isn't saying much about it. We don't even know what a passing score is actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a number or what.
Yeah.
I do know they will offer extra time if you need more time, and I'm pretty positive that there would be some type of retake.
Did your dad do any research as to the health of the company and how much it's going to be costing the districts or the average taxpayer to administer the test?
I know locally, my district, they spend quite a bit of money on all Chromebooks. There's about 6 new parts of Chromebooks with 30 in each school.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is, you've, like I said before, and I know it sounds a little ridiculous to say, but you've definitely done your homework on this. Were you the only, I say student, okay, may as well go there. Were you the only student that actually testified before this committee that said all that you did?
I can't say as for student. I definitely think that I'm one of the first in my age group.
Uh-huh.
Locally, I know I'm the first to refuse the test in High School South.
Oh, okay.
Without, I don't have an IEP. So I'm the first to do that.
Dude, you are brilliant. Let me tell you something. You are brilliant, and you got it set. I have to give you a lot of credit. No, seriously. I have to give you a lot of credit. I really do, Jacob. Speaking for everyone, speaking for students all over New Jersey, but certainly for taxpayers who would be funding this. You see, that's the reason why I'm even talking about this right now. Because to me, it sounds like it's a boondoggle. And I'm guessing, I won't put words in your mouth, but do you get the same sense that this is a boondoggle?
Yes, I definitely think it's a bit ridiculous.
There you go. All right, Jacob. Listen, I appreciate hearing from you, cuz.
Thank you.
All right, lots of luck in the future. That's Jacob Hartman from, I guess what do you say, Toms River South? Yeah, that's right. Toms River South. He's an honor student, and he was at this Department of Education meeting in Trenton. I guess this was yesterday. He openly questioned the wisdom of giving the test in the first place. Now, just real quick before we go to break, according to, just recently, there were a group of parents in Marlboro, and they launched an online petition saying the same thing that Jacob did a little earlier. According to Dan Katz, he's the professor of education at Seton Hall. He says, we've been in a cycle of educational policy over the last 30 years that has been emphasizing the narrative that our schools are failing us, and that was pushed into overtime, first with the No Child Left Behind Act and then with the Race to the Top grant program, both emphasizing standardized test-based accountability, but now there's too much emphasis on testing. So that's the reason why I asked you, do you feel as though there's too much testing? I would imagine that there are a good many folks who say, yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, but we tell our kids to suck it up anyway. Let's see. A standardized test, if it is designed very well, is one approximation of learning, but it is not learning in and of itself. Again, this is according to a professor of education over at Seton Hall. And that's the reason why I said it's really very simple.